To challenge inherited assumptions was to invite wrath. Well, the result? Smith was suspended and ultimately dismissed from his professorship. His reputation was savaged. His income was cut off. The church that once honored him turned him into a cautionary tale. While no exact quote survives to capture his inner thoughts during this storm, the tone of his correspondence and writings makes one thing clear. Smith never saw himself as a destroyer of faith, but as someone who sought to deepen understanding, even if that meant challenging sacred traditions. To paraphrase his stance, Smith would say, "I did not contradict the Bible. I only contradicted what others presumed it had to mean." Julius Wellhausen, who developed the documentary hypothesis, arguing that Genesis was composed from multiple human sources, borrowing from older cultural influences, found himself equally vilified. Conservative clergy branded him a dangerous heretic, questioning not just his scholarship, but his moral character. The pressure became so intense that Wellhausen eventually resigned from his theological position, writing, "I became a theologian because the scientific treatment of the Bible interested me, but gradually I came to understand that a professor of theology also has the practical task of preparing students for service in the Protestant church, and I am not equal to this. I cause the students more perplexity than help." Even in the 20th century, the pattern continued. Samuel Noah Kramer, who deciphered numerous Sumerian texts demonstrating direct antecedents to biblical narratives, faced intense hostility from fundamentalist communities who accused him of deliberately undermining faith. The higher criticism movement these scholars represented was branded as an attack on spiritual foundations of Western civilization. As biblical scholar Richard Elliott Friedman implied, those who suggested the Hebrew Bible was a human rather than divine product were accused of harboring anti-Semitic or anti-Christian sentiments. Their motives, rather than their evidence, became the focus of debate. Hermann Gunkel, who pioneered the study of Genesis through comparative mythology, was professionally marginalized, finding himself shut out from conservative theological institutions despite his groundbreaking scholarship. But despite the persecution, the evidence continued to mount. Impossible to ignore.